Hello and welcome to the Knowing Show. I am your host, Christene Marie. Happy Sunday, y'all, for those of you joining. We are on day 102 of the year. And even as I sat down, I just had this moment of reflection. Life goes so fast. Life goes so fast. And this is just such a good moment for us right here, right now, to just take a pause and reflect on where are we heading this year and how are we doing, and are we proud of the life that we're living today? And these pauses, to be frequent and routine, allow for us to just ensure that we're taking stock of every day, so that we don't get to the end of the year, so that we don't get 10 years from now and we look back and we're like, where did time go? What did I do with my life? And so these morning shows really serve for us to do that. They kind of facilitate the space for us to be reflective and consider not just how am I living my life, but ultimately what is more true? What is more true than this present physical reality? And where is hope? So with that, I'm going to dive into just some reviews before we begin today's lesson. Lesson 61, I am the light of the world. Lesson 62, forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. Lesson 63, the light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. Lesson 64, let me not forget my function. Lesson 65, my only function is the one God gave me. Lesson 66, my happiness and my function are one. Lesson 67, love created me like itself. Lesson 68, love holds no grievances. Lesson 69, my grievances hide the light of the world in me. Lesson 70, my salvation comes from me. Lesson 71, only God's plan for salvation will work. Lesson 72, holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Lesson 73, I will there be light. Lesson 74, there is no will but God's. Lesson 75, the light has come. Lesson 76, I am under no laws but God's. Lesson 77, I am entitled to miracles. Lesson 78, let miracles replace all grievances. Lesson 79, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Lesson 80, let me recognize my problems have been solved. Lesson 91, miracles are seen in light. Lesson 92, miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. Lesson 93, light and joy and peace abide in me. Lesson 94, I am as God created me. Lesson 95, I am one self united with my Creator. Lesson 96, salvation comes from my one self. Lesson 97, I am spirit. Lesson 98, I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. Lesson 99, salvation is my only function here. Lesson 100, my part is essential to God's plan for salvation. Lesson 101, God's will for me is perfect happiness. Lesson 102, I share God's will for happiness for me. You do not want to suffer. You may think it buys you something and may still believe a little that it buys you what you want. Yet this belief is surely shaken now, at least enough to let you question it, and to suspect it really makes no sense. It has not gone as yet, but lacks the roots that once secured it tightly to the dark and hidden secret places of your mind. Today, we will try to loose its weakened hold still further and to realize that pain is purposeless, without a cause, and with no power to accomplish anything. It cannot purchase anything at all. It offers nothing and does not exist. And everything you think it offers you is lacking in existence, like itself. You have been slave to nothing. Be you free today to join the happy will of God. For several days, we will continue to devote our practice periods to exercises planned to help you reach the happiness God's will has placed in you. Here is your home, and here your safety is. Here is your peace, and here there is nothing to fear. Here is salvation. Here is rest at last. Begin your practice periods today with the acceptance of God's will for you. I share God's will for happiness for me, and I accept it as my function now. Then seek this function deep within your mind, for it is there, awaiting but your choice. You cannot fail to find it when you learn it is your choice and that you share God's will. Be happy, for your only function here is happiness. You have no need to be less loving to God's Son than he whose love created him as loving as himself. Mm. Besides these hourly 5-minute rests, pause frequently today to tell yourself that you have now accepted happiness as your one function, and be sure that you are joining with God's will and doing this. Y'all, I don't know. I feel really led this morning to do this. So I'm gonna just literally, if you would be willing to join me, and if you don't want to join me, you can leave or just wait. I just want to take a moment to close my eyes and just be still with you guys, because we don't do that. For me, I don't do that enough. And this culture and this world is moving so fast, and we have constant stimulus, and there's just so much noise. Even this morning, I'm with almost my entire family. My sister wasn't there last night, but I've got my 4 siblings who were there last night, not my other sister. So 5 of us kids. People have their spouses there and their fiance, and my parents, and it's just a lot of people, kids. It's a lot of people, and it's busy, and there's a lot of love, and there's also opportunities for conflict, and there's just a lot of opportunity for miscommunication and just coming out of alignment. The more people we're around, the easier it is to get off course. It's interesting. When I first really started to do the work of coming to know who am I, stripped and void of who everyone else says that I am, who does God say that I am, I actually kind of pulled away and really came into this season of isolation. I called it my season in the wilderness, just to really go inward and really come to know the truth. And in that process, I really came to kind of cultivate my own alignment of, okay, this is what health looks like, feels like, sounds like, is for me. And you can think that you're super healthy when you're alone, but then, man, when you come into relationship, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm not as healthy as I thought I was. And y'all, this is where relationships are so powerful, so important, is that they can have so much opportunity for healing and also for expansion of our own capacity for joy and pain and emotion and intellect. And it's just like an expansion of all of us. If you think about the concentric circles, it's you and me in the nucleus. And then with each new circle that's added, we ourselves are forced to expand to reach that level that we're now engaging. So the greater we go outward in our concentric circles, the greater we have to effectively be able to then engage if we want to maintain health in those relationships. And so relationships have it's so multi-purposed in terms of their impact and their benefit. And it is so important that we also take time to just sit in the quiet and sit in the peace of just the presence of God and rest. I love this, how she says, here we go. Here is your home, and here is your safety. Here is your peace, and here there is nothing to fear. Here is salvation. Here is rest at last. Just this time of sitting in the quiet and in the presence of God. So I'm just going to close my eyes and just take a pause and take, honestly, a couple deep breaths. And I want to be led right here with you all this morning, and just through the rest of my day. So I invite you to join me to just close your eyes and breathe and be quiet and listen. Does God have something to say to us this morning? So with that, I invite you to join me. And if it feels good to just kind of, lean your head to the side and roll it slowly to the left and then to the right. And roll your shoulders back and sit up straight. God, I thank you for your peace. God, I thank you that your peace can come and we can experience it at any time, no matter the circumstances. God, I thank you that what may be intended for evil or intended for our harm, you can make it for good somehow, some way. And God, I pray for every single person who's listening to this now or in the future. God, I pray for my Aunt Anne, my cousin Joy Lynn, Caroline, T, Margaret, Joe, who lost their dad and their husband this week. God, I thank you that you are the God and the Father of all comfort, and that you actually can sit with us in our pain and sit with us in our weakness because you know what it's like. And that's a gift of the presence and the person of Jesus. And I'm so grateful for that. Father, I ask for that peace to just nestle deep within our soul. God, that it would lift us up and out of the situations here in this physical world, because this physical world is not the end all be all. There is a greater truth and a greater reality than right here, right now, and that is the hope of eternal life, the hope of being reborn and coming to know you face to face. God, I thank you that even now we get to see you and know you, God. What an incredible honor, what an incredible privilege and gift that is. And so, Father, I just pray on this Sunday morning. God, I pray that everyone listening would be able to leave from this place and just remember who you say that they are. They are so loved and worthy and cherished. You say you dance over us with singing, which is just the most vulnerable, beautiful thing of my life. And so, Father, I ask that we would come to know you as Father, as a healer, as a comforter. In Jesus' name. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me today. I know that this was a little bit of a different show. I am with my family, as I said this week. So I know that I haven't gone live last night or tonight. I'm not going to be going live, but I'm really looking forward to being able to join you all again over the next couple of days. So it looks like we were frozen here. So anyways, Vince Bacon. That's so funny. Wayne, good morning. I'm so glad to see you. Christopher Flynn, good morning. V Double, good morning, y'all. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to go ahead and jump off and just go be with my family, but I'm hopeful that we can all leave here and be reminded of a greater truth than even this physical world, even though it feels so real. It feels so real, and it is real in so many ways. And there is something greater that allows for us to hold on to hope, even in the midst of the questions, even in the midst of the pain. So I hope that you can take this peace with you and just allow for the peace of God to really comfort you today. So with that, have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. And